What if I told you that the most powerful part of India's upcoming Tejas Mk2 fighter jet is the one you'll never see during an air show? You might think of the roaring engine or the sleek delta wing slicing the sky, but the truth is, the deadliest secret lies hidden deep inside its belly, a space so important that without it the Mk2 would just be another fast aircraft. Not a future air dominance machine. We call it the weapon bay, a closed, silent chamber that only opens for a split second in combat. And when it does, the difference between winning and losing a dogfight can be decided. Stay with me till the end of this video, because by the time we're done, you won't just know what's inside the Tejas Mk2's weapon bay. You'll understand why it's designed the way it is, and how it gives India an edge that most people don't even realize exists. And yes, I'll share a piece of information at the very end that most aviation magazines have never revealed about the Mk2. That's your reward for watching all the way through. Now, before we dive into that hidden compartment, let's set the stage. Because to truly appreciate the Tejas Mk2, you have to understand what it represents, not just for the Indian Air Force, but for the way fighter jets are evolving worldwide. For decades, India's fighter fleet relied heavily on imports, from the MiG-21 seconds to the Mirage 2000 seconds and Sukhoi Su-30 seconds. The country's skies have been guarded by machines built overseas, customized for Indian needs. The original Tejas Mk1 was India's first big step towards breaking that cycle. It proved that Indian engineers could design a light combat aircraft from scratch. It flew, it fought, it earned respect. But ask any seasoned pilot, the Mk1, while capable, still had limitations. Its range, payload, and future upgrade potential were restricted. Against modern threats, stealth fighters, beyond visual range missiles, AI-assisted targeting systems, India needed something more. That's where the Tejas Mk2 comes in. This isn't just a small upgrade. It's a rethinking of the entire platform. A longer fuselage for more fuel. A more powerful GEF 414 engine pushing out nearly 98 kilonewtons of thrust. A radar system that can detect enemies before the enemy even knows they're being watched. And in the middle of all these advancements lies something many overlook: how you carry your weapons. See, the psychology of modern air combat is fascinating. It's not just about how fast you can fly or how sharp you can turn. It's about what you can carry and how quickly you can bring it into play without revealing yourself first. In the Cold War era, jets hung their missiles and bombs out in the open, a display of raw power but also a big flashing signal on enemy radar. The Tejas Mk2 changes that. Its weapon bay is part of a new mindset, a shift towards stealth by design. Hidden inside, the weapons are shielded from radar waves. The jet appears smaller, quieter, less threatening on enemy sensors. And when it's time to strike, the doors open for just a moment. The weapon is released, and the bay snaps shut. That fraction of a second could mean the difference between disappearing into the sky or becoming a target yourself. Now here's where human psychology comes in. Aviation enthusiasts, people like you and me, are naturally drawn to speed, noise, and open displays of weaponry. We love to see missiles hanging off the wings ready to fire, but the modern era demands a different kind of excitement, the thrill of what you can't see, the hidden advantage, the unseen strike. And that's exactly what the Tejas Mk2's weapon bay delivers. This is why I say the heart of the Mk2 isn't just its engine or its radar. It's this carefully designed compartment that makes the whole system more lethal. Every curve, every hinge, every millisecond in its operation has been calculated. And in 2026, when the first combat-ready Mk2 takes to the skies, that hidden bay will be one of the biggest reasons India's pilots can go toe-to-toe with the best in the world, whether that's in a dogfight over the Himalayas or an interception over the Indian Ocean. By the end of this video, you'll see the Tejas Mk2's weapon bay the way a fighter pilot does. Not as an empty space, but as a living part of the jet's combat brain. And when I tell you the final detail, the one most articles never talk about, you'll understand why 2026 isn't just a year on a calendar. It's the beginning of a new chapter in Indian air power. So, buckle in. We're about to open the doors, literally, to one of the most guarded features of India's next-generation fighter. To understand why the weapon bay is such a breakthrough, we need to see the aircraft it belongs to in full. The Tejas Mk2 is not just a light fighter anymore. It has grown into a medium-weight, multi-role combat aircraft. The design stretches longer than the Mk1, with a stronger airframe to carry more fuel, more weapons, and more advanced sensors. Every dimension has been reworked for the demands of the next 20 years of aerial combat. At its core is the General Electric F414 engine, a leap from the F404 used in the Mk1. It pushes nearly 98 kilonewtons of thrust, In practical terms, that means faster climbs, quicker acceleration, and the ability to stay at supersonic speeds for longer. This isn't just for show. In modern combat, the pilot who can position their aircraft first often wins before a shot is even fired. The air intake design has been refined for higher airflow efficiency. The delta wing remains, but it is supported by canards, small forewings, that give the Mk2 better agility at low speeds and during sharp maneuvers. For a pilot, that means more control during close-in dogfights and less energy loss when making rapid turns. The cockpit has been completely overhauled. Instead of analog dials and scattered screens, it uses a large panoramic display, similar to the systems in fifth-generation fighters like the F-35. The pilot's helmet is not just a helmet anymore, it's an interface. Information about targets, weapon status, and flight conditions is projected directly onto the visor, allowing the pilot to keep eyes forward at all times. But this is not just about hardware. It's about how all these elements come together to create an aircraft that can handle multiple roles. The Tejas Mk2 can intercept enemy fighters, strike ground targets deep inside hostile territory, provide air cover to friendly troops, and carry out reconnaissance missions, all with one platform. Here is where psychology plays an important role for aviation enthusiasts. In the Mk1, limitations in payload meant it had to choose between certain roles for each mission. With the Mk2, that choice is no longer as restrictive. You can carry a heavier weapons load, extra fuel tanks, or advanced targeting pods, all without sacrificing speed and agility. This flexibility is what turns a good fighter into a strategic asset. Its radar, the Avionics active electronically scanned array, gives it the ability to track multiple targets at once, even in cluttered environments. AESA radars are harder to jam, and they can operate in different modes simultaneously. Imagine tracking an enemy aircraft while mapping the ground below for targets, all in the same sweep. That's the power of AESA. In aerial warfare, knowledge is survival. The Mk2 is built to gather more information, process it faster, and share it instantly with other friendly units. Its data link system can transmit target coordinates, missile locks, and threat warnings to other jets or ground control in real time. A lone Mk2 in enemy territory is never truly alone. Now let's connect this to the bigger picture. India's current fighter fleet has a gap between the lightweight Tejas Mk1 and the heavy Su-30 Mki. The Mk2 is designed to fill that gap. Medium-weight fighters are often the most versatile part of any air force because they balance speed, range, and payload. They can be deployed quickly and maintained at a lower cost than heavy fighters, yet they carry enough firepower to challenge top-tier opponents. From a pilot's perspective, the Mk2 offers something rare: confidence. Confidence that you have the fuel to reach the fight and return without mid-air refueling. Confidence that you can carry both air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons in the same mission. Confidence that the aircraft will respond instantly when you push it to the limits. For the Indian Air Force, this means more than replacing older jets. It means reshaping the doctrine of air combat. Instead of sending a mix of different aircraft types for different roles, a squadron of Mk2s can adapt mid-mission. If the situation changes from an airstrike to an aerial interception, the Mk2 can handle it. This adaptability reduces risk, simplifies logistics, and increases the chances of mission success. It is also a message to the world. In the realm of military aviation, self-reliance is power. Every locally designed and built fighter reduces dependence on foreign suppliers. Every indigenous system tested and perfected adds resilience to national defense. The Tejas Mk2 is more than an aircraft. It is a statement that India is no longer just a buyer of technology, but a creator of it. And while all of this is impressive, the real advantage comes from how these capabilities are hidden and protected. External weapons, fuel tanks, and pods are useful, but they make an aircraft visible to enemy radars from hundreds of kilometers away. The Mk2's internal carriage, its weapon bay, changes that game. With weapons tucked inside, the aircraft becomes a smaller radar target. By the time the enemy knows it's there, it's already in position to strike. This is why the Tejas Mk2 is not just the next step in India's fighter program, it's a leap into the world of 5th-generation combat aircraft. It blends the lessons of the past with the demands of the future: range, agility, advanced sensors, multi-role flexibility, and the stealth edge provided by that hidden compartment we are uncovering. From the tip of its radar nose to the sweep of its canards, from the roar of its engine to the quiet threat of its concealed weapons, the Mk2 is designed with one goal: to give its pilot every advantage possible while giving the enemy no warning at all. Hidden beneath the smooth underside of the Tejas Mk2 lies a space that changes how this fighter fights. At first glance, it's invisible, part of the clean aerodynamic shape. But concealed behind reinforced doors is the chamber where the jet's most decisive tools are kept. The weapon bay is more than storage. It is the bridge between the aircraft's sensors and its firepower. In the split seconds between detecting a threat and neutralizing it, the bay becomes the stage where the mission's outcome is decided. Its purpose is straightforward: carry weapons inside the aircraft instead of hanging them under the wings or fuselage. The benefits, however, go far beyond simple storage. Every external weapon you hang on a fighter becomes a problem in 3 ways. It increases drag, it makes the aircraft heavier, and most importantly, it reflects radar waves, making the jet easier to detect. Radar works by sending out electromagnetic waves that bounce back when they hit solid objects. The more edges and curves you expose, the bigger your radar signature. External missiles, bombs, and fuel tanks are perfect reflectors. By moving these inside, the Tejas Mk2 keeps its profile small. A smaller profile means the enemy's radar picks you up later, giving you more time to maneuver, engage, or escape. The weapon bay's design is a blend of precision engineering and combat psychology. Its doors must be strong enough to withstand supersonic speeds, yet fast enough to open and close in fractions of a second. When a pilot presses the trigger, the bay's internal systems swing into motion. The doors open, the selected weapon slides forward or drops out, and the doors shut again, all in a time frame short enough to keep the aircraft's stealth advantage intact. The Mk2's bay is built to carry a versatile mix of armaments. It can house Astra beyond visual range air-to-air missiles, India's indigenous answer to long-range interception. These missiles can engage enemy aircraft at distances where visual contact isn't possible, guided by radar lock or data from other friendly aircraft. Inside the same bay, it can also carry precision-guided bombs designed for surgical strikes against ground targets. For certain missions, the bay can be configured to hold standoff weapons, long-range missiles capable of striking targets hundreds of kilometers away without the jet entering hostile airspace. This flexibility is what makes the bay more than a single-purpose feature. It adapts to the mission at hand, whether it's air superiority, ground attack, or strategic deterrence. From a physics standpoint, internal carriage improves the jet's aerodynamics. Without the drag of exposed weapons, the Mk2 can fly faster, conserve fuel, and maneuver with greater agility. In a real dogfight, that extra energy could be the difference between outturning an opponent or being forced onto the defensive. For aviation enthusiasts, the appeal here runs deeper than the technical facts. There is something inherently thrilling about a hidden system that reveals itself only in the moment of action. It's the contrast, the calm of a clean, smooth jet slicing the sky, and the sudden flash of movement as the bay doors open, the weapon launches, and the jet returns to its quiet, predatory state. The psychology of concealment is powerful in warfare. Just as a submarine gains its strength from remaining unseen until it chooses to strike, a stealth-capable fighter with an internal weapon bay plays a mental game with its adversary. The enemy pilot can't be sure what's inside or how many weapons remain until it's too late. This uncertainty creates hesitation, and hesitation in air combat is often fatal. The Tejas Mk2's weapon bay also supports the concept of mission survivability. In a modern battlefield saturated with radar-guided missiles and AI-assisted targeting systems, survival depends on minimizing exposure. By keeping weapons inside until the moment of launch, the Mk2 spends most of its mission in its lowest observable state. This not only protects the aircraft, but also increases the success rate of its attacks. Even maintenance of the weapon bay is a study in efficiency. Engineers have designed it so that reloading and reconfiguring can be done quickly between sorties. The faster a fighter can be turned around and sent back into the air, the more pressure it can apply in a sustained campaign. Every minute saved on the ground can translate into critical advantages in the air. It's important to recognize that this is not just copying what other advanced fighters do. The F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II also use internal bays, but the Tejas Mk2 adapts the concept to India's operational environment and its unique combination of missions. The bay's capacity, weapon compatibility, and integration with indigenous systems reflect the specific needs of the Indian Air Force. The integration is deep. The Uttam AESA radar detects and prioritizes threats. The AI-assisted avionics decide the optimal weapon and firing solution, and the bay's mechanism executes the launch with surgical precision. This seamless chain, from detection to destruction, is where technology meets instinct. The pilot still makes the final decision, but every system is working to ensure that decision happens faster and with better information than the opponents. For the aircraft lover, there is a poetry in this. It's not just about raw firepower. It's about delivering that firepower at the perfect moment, from the perfect position, with the least chance of retaliation. The weapon bay turns the Tejas Mk2 from a visible predator into a ghost that strikes from nowhere. In combat, first impressions matter, but final impressions decide the outcome. The weapon bay ensures that when the Mk2 chooses to reveal its hand, it does so with maximum effect and minimum warning. That is the art of air combat in the 21st century, and the Mk2 has mastered its brushstroke. Stealth keeps you hidden, speed puts you in position. But in the modern sky, the final advantage comes from how fast you can think, and how precise those decisions are. This is where the Tejas Mk2 steps beyond being just a machine, and begins to act like an intelligent combat partner. Artificial intelligence in the Mk2 is not a gimmick. It is woven into the aircraft's core systems, guiding how information is processed, how threats are evaluated, and how weapons are chosen. In a high-speed dogfight or a long-range missile duel, the pilot is surrounded by data: radar returns, electronic signals, infrared readings, enemy maneuvers, and communications from friendly forces. Human reaction time, even for the most skilled aviator, has limits. AI erases those limits. From the moment the Mk2 sensors detect a potential threat, AI systems begin analyzing. Is the object an enemy aircraft, a friendly jet, or a decoy? What is its speed, altitude, and heading? Which weapon has the best chance of a successful hit, considering distance, angle, and countermeasures? These calculations happen in milliseconds, far faster than a human could perform them without assistance. This does not mean the AI replaces the pilot. Instead, it acts as a co-pilot, one that never gets tired, never hesitates, and never loses focus. It filters out distractions, highlights the most urgent dangers, and even suggests optimal maneuvers to evade incoming missiles or gain a firing position. The decision remains with the pilot, but the options are presented with clarity and precision. The integration with the weapon bay is seamless. When the AI determines the right moment to strike, it synchronizes the bay doors, weapon release, and targeting data so they occur as one smooth action. There is no delay, no wasted motion. This level of coordination ensures the stealth profile is maintained until the instant the weapon leaves the aircraft. AI also transforms how the Mk2 handles beyond visual range combat. In this environment, the pilot may never see the enemy with the naked eye. Instead, battles are fought through radar images and electronic signatures. AI takes these inputs and builds a three-dimensional picture of the fight, updating it in real time as conditions change. Targets are prioritized based on threat level, proximity, and the likelihood of interception. In training scenarios, this has a profound psychological effect. Pilots report feeling a greater sense of calm because they are not overwhelmed by raw data. Instead, they receive distilled, actionable information. Exactly what they need, exactly when they need it. This reduction in mental workload allows them to focus more on tactics and less on scanning multiple displays. The Tejas Mk2's AI also learns. Every engagement, every maneuver, every simulated fight leaves behind a trail of data. Over time, the system refines its predictions, adapts to new tactics, and becomes more effective at anticipating enemy behavior. This means that the longer the Mk2 serves, the sharper its digital instincts become. Another layer of advantage comes from AI-assisted electronic warfare. The Mk2 can detect when it is being painted by enemy radar and respond instantly with the right countermeasure, chaff, flares, or electronic jamming signals, all selected automatically to match the type of threat. This rapid, intelligent defense greatly increases the aircraft's survivability in hostile environments. The connection to other assets is equally important. Through secure data links, the Mk2 can share AI-processed intelligence with friendly aircraft, drones, and ground control. A pilot in one Mk2 can benefit from the sensor inputs of another hundreds of kilometers away. This networked warfare approach turns a single fighter into part of a larger thinking organism, one where every part sees what the others see, and every part reacts together. The psychology of this for an adversary is devastating. Facing a single advanced fighter is a challenge. Facing an entire group of them, linked together and reacting with near-instant coordination, makes traditional tactics almost useless. It forces the opponent into a defensive posture before the first missile is